All right, so running through the testing really quick. If you are in the scholarship program, you must submit testing. That is something that is required in the law. This is a big chunk of text, so this is literally what the law says. If you're in 3rd through 8th grade, you have to submit a nationally norm reference summative assessment annually or formative assessment 3 times during the year. If you're in 9th through 12th grade, you have to submit a nationally norm reference assessment, formative assessment, or assessment that demonstrates college or career readiness. For special needs students, you must monitor the progress of students with significant cognitive disabilities through alternative assessments, including portfolios. That's a big bunch of text. We're going to talk about what it means. So formative assessments are those tests that are taken at the beginning, middle, and end of the school year. That's a MAP test, a STAR test, stuff like that, where it's measuring your child's progress over the course of the year. You may choose to do this for your child if you're educating at home, or your school may offer this to help track the kid's progress over the year. There's also tests that you can do summatively at the end of the school year that are, your SAT, your ACT, your Iowa test, your Stanford test. You just do one test a year. And so it's up to you as a parent and up to the school to figure out what testing you want to do for your kids specifically, but one of those has to happen. So the currently approved tests, this is the list, is SC Ready, it's MAP, it's iReady, it's STAR, it's Iowa, your SAT, your ACT, your PSAT for those high school students. Provisionally, the Classical Learning Test and Stanford are approved. And you may be wondering, I know that last slide did not say anything about K through 2 students, and that's because you can test for those students, or you can alternatively turn in a portfolio of some sample work or a report card for those students. So kind of the same requirements that a special needs student has, that portfolio work, you can think about that for those kindergarten through 2nd grade students. If there is a test available and you just want to give them a test and it's easier for you to find an approved test for those ages, you are welcome to do that. But if you don't want to do that, you just need to make sure that you are submitting those alternative proof of academic progress. If you're in the program this year, make sure you talk to your school, figure out who is sending the test, make sure your kid is getting the right kind of test. These testing fees can be invoiced to Class Wallet, whether your school is billing you for a testing fee and you submit that invoice, or there's some testing vendors through the program where you can purchase directly from them with your Class Wallet. And again, if you are a special needs student, you'll need to turn in documentation of that disability, an IEP, an ISP, a 504, a doctor letter, something like that, to prove that you actually are special needs. So that's kind of what those testing requirements look like. And you're submitting those at the end of the school year. Yeah, the test requirements are for returning students only. So you don't have to submit testing requirements to apply. But at the end of the school year, when you're receiving the scholarship, you must submit tests at the end of the year to say, hey, I used this scholarship. I used it to educate my kid. Here's their test score. So if you're a new parent, you don't need to worry about this right now. If you're in the program right now, you should probably be thinking about these and how your kid is going to have those test scores for next year. And you submit those at the end of the school year, unless you're doing one of those summative assessments where you're taking it beginning, middle, and end of year. You can submit those scores as they come in. And you will be able to email those to ESTF program at ed.sc.gov. There, I put that in the chat. So that's the testing requirement. So put that in the back of your head if you're thinking about that. And if you are educating at home, the testing requirement is a big thing you need to make sure you do. Watch my webinar about that. We talked about that a lot.